Hello, everyone. Welcome to Footy Abroad. It's episode 18 of Footy Abroad. It is
Yes.
Wednesday, the 20th of August, 2024. I'm Terry from Blue Abroad. We've got Jake from Saints TV and Luke from Swoop Luke. Lads, good evening.
Good evening, Terry. It's good to be back. In a couple of weeks.
It is good to be back. Yes, we had a bit of a week off last week. Bit of a rest, much needed rest. I was in no state to do a show last week.
Yes, but it all worked out. It all worked out in the end. I don't think any of us were ready last week. So
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, absolutely. I guess we should just kick things off with a bit of a note on Sam Landsberger, who obviously tragically passed away this morning, and just start the show by paying some respects and sending well wishes to his family, his colleagues, his friends. Just another reminder that when your time is up, it's just up. There is no feelings about it. When it comes, it comes, and it's tragic.
Yeah. Yeah, really sad. Hit me like just in the guts, straight into the guts. Yeah, far out. Sending love.
Yeah. I never met him. I never had much contact with him apart from during the Olympics when he would
those text messages.
Yeah. He would fire through the schedule with the emojis, and it's about as close as I got to him. I don't know. Did you guys ever meet with him, work with him at all?
I had limited interaction with him a couple of years ago when I went to Paul Curio's house and I had a chat with Paul. Sam messaged me on Twitter and he's like, "That was a good interview. I'm going to write up some stuff about it." And it's not here, but in my old videos at the old house, there's always that newspaper article behind me, and that was written by Sam. So, yeah. So, no, and I didn't really have anything to do with him since, but yeah, I kind of remember that on my way home, and it fucking, yeah, it hurt. It hurt a little bit. It hurt a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. There's only one thing guaranteed after you're born, and that's it. You're going to die at some point. So you may as well do what you love.
Yeah.
And he was very good.
He was yeah.
He was very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So we will honor him with a great show tonight. There's a bit to get through. All three of us have brought a topic to the table. We've got finals football around the corner. We might talk a little bit about that. There's a big matchup on Sunday between the Blues and the Saints, and I think that might get a bit of a run. The Pies are not out of the race yet. Just got to win by 200.
That's my lock for the week. Pies by 200 against Melbourne. Should be good. Should be really good. I'll give it that.
I love that they posted that, by the way.
It's pretty funny.
And the first comment's like, if it was any other club, they're out.
yeah, it'd be eliminated. But bloody hell, pretty funny, but it's good.
Yeah,
it's good. All right.
Why don't we start with Jake? Jake, because we weren't here last week, why don't we give us a recap? What has happened in the last two games for the Saints?
We've kicked a lot of goals, which is very good. We've kicked 99 points or plus in both games. Richmond, we played. It was good to see us just comfortably beat a team we should beat and not get sucked down to their level. They weren't bad, but it was just good to feel like we didn't probably get out of second or third gear, but we still won pretty comfortably, which is nice. We didn't have to overwork. Sometimes it just feels like we have to, I don't know, kick. The way we kick goals is a lot more difficult than maybe other teams, And then on the weekend, first half was all Geelong, and they were very good. They kind of, navigated the game on their terms. We all know the way Geelong like to play, high possession football, a lot of marks, a lot of short 15-metre kicks, and then eventually go to Cameron. We were pretty poor. I thought we were equally as poor as they were good. So although the margin was only 33, so it could have been worse. And then the second half was some of the best football I've watched. Didn't feel like Geelong really, like Geelong fans will say they played poorly, but it was just watching it there. It just didn't look like they could stop us. Like we were all running on top of the ground. I know we broke the record for most kilometers ran at over 18 kilometers per hour, which was 52 kilometers for the game at top speed or more, which is by far and away the record in AFL history. So, and we ran the most Ks in a long time. So we talked about it pre-season that running was kind of our main sort of skill set that could probably exploit some teams, and we made them look very, very slow. And if we can run on top of the ground like that this weekend, that'll go a long way into hopefully causing another upset, which would be a nice way to kind of cap off a stretch of some good games. We're 7-4 in the last 11, so I can't be too upset with that turnaround. Some people don't give us the credit for it, but I think we're quietly just kind of building towards hopefully a big year next year.
Yeah, fair. Luke, last 2 weeks, what's the story?
Right, last 2 weeks, we've seen the worst and the best of the Pies. It really encapsulated our season. Bit of a roller coaster. Sydney, we sort of have a really good match against Sydney. We're up by 20-something points, and then they just flipped the switch. SCG, Heaney, Goulden, Warner, the unstoppable. Though that midfield, when they get running, when they get going, unstoppable. I reckon we barely touched the ball in that last quarter after kicking the first goal to get it started. And I think that put us 27 points up. And then we had no answers. It was exactly the carbon copy of what happened with Carlton the week before, where they kicked 5 or 6 just out of the center, out of stoppages, out-muscled us, outran us, outplayed us. We switched onto that sort of defensive mode that we've been doing all year, and it's not Collingwood. That's not what we do. I don't know if it's a symptom of the team that we've sort of had and the injuries or whatever it may be. But then against Brisbane, we saw a bit of a flip to it, and our last quarter was absolutely fantastic. Our second and last quarter, Nick Dacos' second quarter was just incredible. 14 touches, 2 goals, nearly kicked 3 goals in one quarter. And last quarter, win by a point, and that's just typical Collingwood. Lose by under a goal and win by a goal, win by under a goal the next week. So typical Collingwood. We got a little bit too late now, but we got a bit of our DNA back against Brisbane. So I'm just hoping that it pushes through against Melbourne. I just want to beat Melbourne. I don't know why. I just don't like Melbourne as a football club. But
bit of bad blood. I didn't expect that.
I don't know why. It wasn't because of it's not because of the Maynard thing or anything like that. I don't know. There's something about him. And yeah, so we've done it. We've versed Melbourne, or we played against Melbourne a couple of years ago in the last round. We beat them and we knocked them out of finals. I think that might have been, we didn't make finals that year. So someone in the comments will tell me. It was before Swoop. So it might have been 16, 17 or something. So it's going to be a good game. Friday night, Melbourne's home game. So there's probably going to be 25,000 people. A little bit more than they're used to. But no, it should be really good. I just want to finish off this season on a high and see that fast attacking football that we saw against Brisbane. That's all that we're sort of after.
Nice.
Cool.
The Blues. So I'll go back to last week. Oh my God. I think everyone has their moment in the season where they have the emotions get to them. I don't know if you guys have it. We do a pretty good job of keeping a level head, and I like to hope that I do a pretty good job of keeping in check of my emotions. But yeah, last week was an absolute unmitigated, torturous experience. From the first bounce, you just felt we were not switched on, holes all over the ground, and then it all just got compounded with 6 injuries, one after the other. Jack Martin runs into Fogarty. They both get ruled out for the game. Boyd gets hurt. Charlie Kerner gets hurt. Sard gets hurt. And then Harry twings a quad with minutes to go in the game because there was no bench. So awful display, and then that kind of just spilled out. I was okay on the Sunday. I was obviously disappointed, and then Monday, Tuesday, I just built up all this emotion, and then it all just spilled out Tuesday, and I was like, all right, I can't be doing 4-hour fan cams ever again after a bad loss. That's just no good. So that was awful. And then I don't know. I mean, 17 on the injury list going into West Coast, and I'm hoping. We saw the weather the night before when the Wallabies were playing, and I'm just praying for a miracle. We debuted 3 kids. One of them had already played as a sub against Geelong, but essentially a debut.
Yeah.
And it was just like, can we just find something? And then something magical happened. All the talent was ripped out of Carlton, and we were forced to just work hard. And when we started doing that, and we weren't playing predictable footy, and we were lowering our eyes and going for the best option, the talent started to come out. And I was like, oh. And if you had said we're going to beat West Coast by 65 points at the start of the year, I think all of us would have said, yeah, you're expected to.
Yeah.
If you had said it Sunday morning, I would have said you're dreaming. So, it was a good win. I don't really know where it came from. I think that's just the magic of football, and not getting too carried away because we have to win this week to make it. Don't want to be relying on other teams, and it's all set up. Perfect. 18 blokes behind the football this Sunday, courtesy of Ross Lyon. Can't wait. Jake, give me the monologue before we go live. I don't really want to play finals. I'm just really excited to watch the football with no stress.
I can just chill out.
Last 5 weeks, mate, we're averaging 103 points per game. So just you can put a pipe in that now.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, Jake gave me this monologue like, "How are you, mate? How you feeling?" He's like, I'm just really excited.
I'm very excited, mate. I'm very excited. Last year we were both nervous. Let's face it, that was a nerve-wracking game. I didn't enjoy the build-up to that at all. This year you can take all the nerves, and I'll just sit back, and if we can cause an upset, and you might still make finals. There's no guarantee Freya's going to pull off the win at home. So even if you drop the game, there's every chance you still make it. So, but again, like you said, you don't want results to go your way. You want to, it's in your hands. You want to get it done yourself.
It would be a really weird, because we'll be live on the fan cams while that game's happening on Sunday, and it would just be weird to lose.
It's almost written in the stars. Don't you think, Swoop? It's almost written in the stars. I called this 6 or 7 weeks ago. Yeah. I said this 6 or 7 weeks ago. We need to get the clip. And I said, I thought it was weird. Round 24, Saints Blues. That's a weird time slot. We don't usually get it like that. I go, must be like that for a reason. I bet you that's going to be the cliffhanger. That's going to be the game for the season. That's going to make or break someone's season. And here we are. So it's set up. I'm just glad we're coming into this with some pretty damn good form, to be honest. I think it wouldn't be nearly as exciting if we were still playing some pretty boring football. But to play like that, it just adds another layer, It's an unexpected St Kilda, I think, that some people are watching.
I can't wait for Sunday, knowing the Saints have played their granny already against the Cats.
Mate, that's interesting. You can't be a hypocrite now. All year you're like, be better. You got to be better. And guess what? That's our approach. That's our approach. Every game now is a grand final, and we're treating it that way. To me, I want Sunday to be the opening round of 2025. That's round 1. Let's start now and get ready for next year. That's the approach I want. Not, Damien Barrett coming out and going, I wish they did this when it counted. It's like, we're doing it. What would you rather now? To not do it? What do you want us to do? We're getting better. It doesn't matter when you get better. Things click, and then that's how it goes. You carry this momentum into the off-season.
Do you reckon you can get a 100-point win at all for us? Or do you reckon that's
Look. I think the last time we... when was the last time... The last time we did that was 20 years ago so, against the Blues, I think. So it's... You're clutching there, but
Stop it. Get some help.
You're getting desperate, Luke. You're getting desperate, mate.
Yeah, fuck. Just 200 points. It's not that much.
Hey, if we kick 100 points alone, I'll be happy. Winning by that much, I don't know. I don't know, mate. So we'll see what we can do.
It's amazing. I have faith in the Saints. I respect the Saints. I've respected them.
Yeah,
all
you've
year.
been great.
I believe they should be a lot better and in a better position than what they are today. I believe that both teams should be fighting for spots in the finals. I believe Carlton, if we're talking about what should, coulda, woulda, shoulda, we should be fighting for a top 4 spot, given where we were a month or so ago. And I think the Saints should be fighting for 5th to 8th. That's kind of how I thought this would play out a couple of months ago.
I mean, last year we won 13 games, right, to make finals. 13-10 was our record. If say we win on the weekend, that's 11 games. That's a disappointing season. 2 games off last year and 6 losses under 10 points. And a lot of them were our record against the top 4 has been pretty good. We've beaten the top team. We were 2 points off Port, who are now second. 5 points off Hawthorn, who are one of the form teams. We've just beaten Geelong. Like you got to look at positives somewhere, don't you, Terry? You got to pull them. Like, what are the fans supposed to do when you're not making finals? You just you put the cue in the rack and then you expect the boys to not. You got to turn up.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and honestly, this is really ridiculous to say. Even Hunter Clark backed me up in the rooms. Off camera, we're talking about sort of the feeling this season, ending the season and last season. We made finals last season, but I'm more bullish at the end of this season. I'll tell you that much. Much more bullish. It's the style. It's the brand of football that's different. We didn't kick 100 points plus more than a couple of times last season. We've done it 4 or 5 times this season, and that's in the last 8 weeks. There's something has clicked. It's the way we're playing, but the defensive structure is still there. That's the key. A lot of other teams do it the other way around, where they play a lot of attacking football, but they don't know how to control the game when it gets tough and slow and it's a slog. We know how to do that. We're adding that other layer. So I don't mind missing finals this year. I think it could be a blessing.
I can see Terry's cogs in his head just silently just.
I just think everything you just said is full of shit. Respect.
How is it full of shit? How is it full of shit?
Everything you just said is literally reminds me of me when Carlton weren't playing finals.
No, this is different. Because we're blooding kids. Our guns are playing well. We're going to draft 2 good mids this year in a very deep draft. And then we'll come out swinging next year with a fit Max King, who we've put on ice, with Liam Henry the same. We're slowly... Our list is in a much better position than it was this time last year. Seb Ross, Brad Crouch, Zach Jones, they're all up in the air. We're getting rid of some of the old heads, as good as they've been, and then we're filtering through the kids. Darcy Wilson's not bad.
You trying to convince me? You trying to
I'm trying to just say that it's not just about making finals this year. It's about being a good team for the next 10 years. That's what I'm trying to say. But you and me next week, we could be crying over the same spilt milk. So we'll see how we go.
Well, because I'll tell you, there was a sentiment in the Carlton fan base after the Hawthorn game. Some people had the opinion, I don't want to play finals. We shouldn't play finals. It'll paper over the cracks. And I disagreed. I said, no matter what, no matter how difficult it looks, no matter how bad the form got, no matter what the injury list was, you can't not play finals. Finals experience, even if you get to round 1 and you get belted, of course you have to play finals. Finals experience is crucial in the quest for eventually winning a premiership. It's part of the process. So, I don't know.
I not to harp on this too much, but I spoke to Joey Montagna preseason, and his thing was, I don't really care if we don't make finals. I want to see us stack it up against the best teams better this year. I want us to beat some good teams, and he's actually spot on. We have our record against the top teams has actually been excellent. Apart from Brisbane a couple of weeks ago, it's been pretty good, So it's those games we dropped at the start of the year. Like I said, 7-4 of the last 11. It's not the last 3 months of the year. It's the first couple that really cost us. So I think we're all right. I'd love to make finals, don't get me wrong, but if you don't, but you're building towards something, you can fizzle the year like Essendon. Who would you rather be, honestly? Essendon, they don't know where they're going. I know the direction of my club. I know what we're trying to do. So do you know what I mean? Like there's different layers to it. If you're an Essendon fan right now, you're like, where's the list at? Where's this at? You don't know. It's all unknowns. It's not like that over at St Kilda land.
This is yeah. Well,
It's gonna be a good week.
Hey, I heard someone sent me a clip. I'm pissed. Someone sent me a clip of what Pommy was saying on the Blue Abroad show last night, cracking whips, talking about Stockard if he's going to try and clip someone off the ball. He hasn't done that all year. He did that at Carlton probably, but he doesn't do that at St Kilda. You know, talking about Paddy Dow and how he's going to shank a kick. I haven't seen him do that yet in his 3 or 4 games he's played. He's been good the last 2 weeks. The disrespect. Just win the game you should. You wouldn't be in this position.
I guess what I've learned is those that feel the need to talk more are generally trying to cover for something. And that's what I think the audience is watching right now.
What am I trying to cover exactly? I'm giving the viewers value for their bloody time. Tell you that.
Yeah, you absolutely are.
At least I'm not a robot, eh?
You are absolutely giving the viewers value, and you always do. No, fair play. Maybe
we'll see on Sunday.
We'll see on Sunday. We will see on Sunday.
Are you guys doing a preview together?
Yeah. Well, we've got to get through tonight first and see. If,
this is
good.
We're going to meet up tomorrow morning, Jake and I, and do a little preview. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So let's get into our topics. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Oh, you go? Yeah, go.
Oh, no, I don't mind.
Oh,
I've just been talking for the last 10 minutes,
yeah,
so you go.
I was going to give you a bit of a break. Cool. I'll jump in. Sweet. So my topic is in regards to trading and nominations when it comes to players. Pretty much just wanting to know what you guys and I guess what the audience thinks of it as well. When a player says, "Yep, I've still got 3 years left on my contract, but I want to go and play for North Melbourne next year. Collingwood get me there." And the players are like, "What the fuck, man? Like you're contracted. You can't, just nominate someone." Or when players say, "I want to go back home for personal reasons, but I really just want to get to West Coast." But Fremantle is home as well, or Port Adelaide and Adelaide. The one that really sticks in my mind, Jake, you'll be well aware of it, is Luke Ball, and everything that sort of went through with that one. TLDR wants to come to the Pies, they can't get a trade done, goes to the preseason draft. We pick him up that way, which is insanely risky. That's just crazy, and I don't think we've seen something like that happen since. If memory serves, something that drastic, where a player nominates, doesn't get done, cuts it off, and then goes to the draft. But I bring it up because we're seeing Bolton wanting to go back home, so they're looking at Fremantle's he's probably going to nominate Fremantle, even though West Coast are there as well. Liam Henry did it last year when he nominated St Kilda. He wanted to come to Victoria, nominated St Kilda. Do you guys like it? Do you not like it? I personally don't like it, even if it benefits my club. More so, not so much like let's just say Petrarca says, "I want out of Melbourne, but I want to get to Collingwood." More so if Petrarca lived in WA and said, I want to get back home, but I need to go to Fremantle, as opposed to the other WA club.
I think it should benefit the club. It should be, if West Coast have more money and they have better draft picks, at the end of the day, you just want to go home and be with your family. That's what you're saying.
Yep. So
you're going to be there. I nominate going back to WA is where it ends. The two clubs, they fight it out. Bidding war. Who can bring the better thing for the club? That's exactly the way it should be. The players should not have that much power. Most of the players break their contract already, so they've already stuffed the club in that way. The least they can do is let the club get the best back.
I think you're spot on. Yeah. I don't mind nominating the club. Like, fair, nominate who you want to nominate. But as long as that club can give the right compensation, you can sort of deal in good faith. I actually think, there's been a bit of debate. I don't know if we're going off topic here, but like the conversation around the length of contracts, should they be 5 years or more? I think this is where you give clubs power with the long-term contracts. It doesn't get spoken about as much, but for example, you see the ruckman from Freo, the young kid that played his first game, Reedy, looked a pretty pretty solid type. So all of a sudden you've got 3 rucks now. You got Jackson, you got Darcy, you got Reedy. Jackson and Darcy, long-term deals. If Darcy all of a sudden says, oh man, like I'm not going to be getting the game, I want to go elsewhere, Freo are in the strongest position because it's a long-term contract and you have to give up sufficient value to get that trade done. So yeah, in summary, I don't mind the nominating, but I do think it should the power should be with the club for a contracted player.
So, yeah, I find it interesting when like a Victorian, like a player from a Victorian club nominates another Victorian club, and then the other clubs don't even try. I always find that interesting because some of them might actually be able to pay him more, offer more picks, and they just kind of, it's like this verbal agreement. Okay, only deal with St Kilda now. I'm only going to be talking to St Kilda. But what if Melbourne comes in and says, hey, we're going to offer you double and we've got a first round pick. Here you go, St Kilda. You know?
Yeah, well, that's exactly what my sort of leading me into my next sort of question was like the Liam Henry one. He wants, let's just say he wants to come back to Victoria, whatever it may be. There's, what is it, like 11 teams in Victoria, 10 or 11 teams. And, 10 or 11 teams, if they want him and if they want, let's just say 4 of them need a Liam Henry type in their team, but he's nominated St Kilda, like you said, Jake. Why should these other guys who need a Liam Henry type, and just because he wants to come home to Victoria, not be able to have a say because he's nominated just one club? I think the power needs to go back more to the clubs and the teams. I understand the nomination, but if you're just going for home reasons, don't tell me it's home reasons and then nominate one of 11 clubs in a state, you know?
The only thing I would say is we put a lot of work into him. So like when I was there, his agent was his manager was there a lot. I think he shares the same manager with Brad Hill. We've got probably one of the strongest Indigenous groups of players in the competition. So it's kind of like, when you see a scout go over and get a 17-year-old for an EPL club or something, they've put in the hours, so they've invested. So it's not like there are other Victorian clubs that could have gotten him easily. But they didn't put in the time. They probably didn't even consider him to be an option, but we did. So,
I was just using Liam Henry because this happened last year.
That's fair.
Exactly right. It's about putting in that time and effort. But I just wanted to get your thoughts because that a lot's happened. Like someone just mentioned it in the US, where they can get traded mid-game in like the baseball and stuff. Like that might be a bit too extreme. Like I remember watching. You guys watched Moneyball? You probably would have. Where they were just getting ready to go out to a game, and then Brad Pitt's like, "Yeah, dude, you're out. Like, don't even bother showing up like to the game right now." He was in the locker rooms. He's like, "You're going to wherever it was, LA or something." That's ruthless. Which I don't think it'll ever get like that here, though. Players have too much say here.
Yeah,
I like it. Very good. Yeah, very good.
Sure.
Are you guys sweating on any players potentially leaving? Is there anyone from your clubs that has shown? I think, Luke, I saw some of those young boys rumors. Like, is that fact or is that just rubbish?
No, it could be fact. Reef McGuinness hasn't been offered a contract yet. Joey Richards has been offered a contract but hasn't accepted. And Finn McRae is just, getting just OP in the VFL and not getting a game. When you can't get a game, and your injury list at one point was 17 players, and you're still not getting a game, your writing's probably on the, and you're racking up 40 in the VFL. The writing's probably on the wall. He's got a year left on his contract. Probably, maybe he goes to the Doggies as a sweetener, but nothing sort of super big. Like there was a stupid rumor going around on Twitter that IQ wants out. He's a vice captain of the club. Just signed a 5-year contract at the start of the year. So, bullshit. But I don't think there's any super big players leaving us anyway that I know of.
Yeah, we've got quite a few out of contract. We had 10 on the weekend playing in our team.
Oh, shit.
Wow.
So there's still a lot there. Although I think Jimmy Webster, Ross said in his presser, signed on, which isn't announced, but Ross said it. He's like, yeah, he's signed. Dan Butler, I think, will sign. Sharman signed. Ronnie Burns. So there's a lot of ones that I've heard that are signed, but they've not announced. I know Josh Battle, I'm pretty confident he's gone.
Who was that guy that just nominated to he wants to be put up for trade from the Saints? It just came out. I think it was today.
Oh, Dougal
Yeah.
Howard.
Was it Dougal Howard?
Nah,
yeah, I
no,
think it was.
Dougal Howard. It says, we're open to offers.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
very much, we'll keep him. He's our only main full back. So losing Battle and Dukes without really a plan is a bit of a risky way to go about it. I think it's if someone comes to the party and, I don't know, it suits the direction we're going in, sure. But if it doesn't, then guess what? He sticks around. So
I'll take Dougal Howard.
he's been really good the last month. So
I like him.
It's
Why
a
would
bit of a
he- why
whipping
would
boy, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
Why would he be on the? Is he not part of the 3 to 5 year plan from here?
I think he is, to be honest. I don't know why these things get reported. I don't think he's 28. He's 200 centimeters. I think Ross is getting the best out of him so far. But he's been shopped around, to be honest, the last 2 or 3 years. So I think it's just this ongoing thing that's never going to be resolved. I'd sign him. I'd sign him for 1 or 2. So
Yeah, I'd take him as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. We need
I think he's-
we need a lockdown defender, 1-on-1 defender, another one on the list. We definitely need one. So
yeah, you can't lose 2 of your 3 key backs in one off season.
Yeah.
No, that's too much.
It's on the trades. Terry, what's going on with Always? How is he not signed up yet? Are they just waiting for the end of the season, or?
Yeah, I think. I mean, if I'm his manager, I'm saying hold off as long as you can. He's kicked 3 or more goals 6 times this year. Pommy and I did this exercise on the Monday show last night. He would be in the top 3 goal kickers minimum, and in some clubs he would be the leading, in some clubs he would be second. Every club in the competition this year.
That's
What
impressive.
does he kick? 35
32.
plus?
32.
Ah, insane.
Yeah, so he's just one of those guys that does the basics right, and he's just chipped away, and he's gotten 3 to 5% better every year. And then all of a sudden you look and say, "Oh wow, you've made it!" And it's like, "Well, hang on, it's been a process." But yeah, really happy. He's out of contract. I don't think he will leave. I think he loves the place, but we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, was there I don't know. Someone said that we were looking at him for a second, but I think that was all a bit of silliness.
Oh man, the Saints will take him. The Saints will take what they can get at this stage. You know?
Well, we've got, Higgins, Butler, and Henry, and Collard developing. I don't know if we.
You wouldn't take Matt Owies?
I mean, I would, but how many smalls can you play in a team? He's not. You can't play Higgins, Butler, and Owies, can you?
I reckon he'd play over Butler. He'd play over Higgins. Yeah.
I think he'd play.
He wouldn't play over Higgins. He wouldn't play over Higgins.
32 goals, mate. 32 reasons why he would.
Higgins is our leading goal kicker. He's kicked 35, 36.
Has he really?
Yeah, and that's in a down season. He's
Higgins and Owies, mate. 1-2 punch with a third string forward.
He's played 3 games less than Owies, and he's kicked 35 goals. So he's doing all right. Jackie Higgins.
Higgins, Owies, and Max King as the third string. Now that is power.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Nah, I don't think we're going to go for Matt Owies. I think we're going to be as ruthless as we can with midfield and
can't wait for Sauce to come for Caleb Marchbank. Can't wait.
Nah, as if that's happening, mate.
Can't wait.
As if that's happening.
Am I time stamping this? I don't know anything about Marchbank,
to be honest. I just I don't even know. He's a backman. I have no idea who he is.
Yeah, I love Marchie. Just horrifically unlucky with injury. Cunningham was also a sauce boy. He might come after Dave Cunningham, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, you want to go next?
Yes. Yep. This topic is in regards to dynasty sides. And when you think dynasty sides, you think Brisbane, you think Geelong, you think Hawthorn, and you think Richmond, the most recent. So I kind of wanted to pose to you guys and to everyone in the comments, everyone watching at home, out of every team in the competition right now, who I guess has that nucleus, who has that foundation to potentially become a dynasty team again? I know Collingwood are still necessarily there in that boat, because a dynasty team is, say, 3 flags in 4 or 5 years, right? It's not 3 flags in a row. It's just a sustained period of success over 5 years. 2 to 3 flags, that's a dynasty, right?
Yeah.
So first question is, which club do you think has the potential to do that. And then the second one is more towards, what makes these dynasty teams so special? What did they have that other clubs that maybe won one flag or two, what do they have that separated them, that allowed them to back it up every single year? Because even Collingwood have found they've been the hunted, They were the hunters for so long. They win a flag, everyone wants to beat them, they miss finals. I think they'll bounce back, but some people think they won't. But what are those key traits that a dynasty team, these Brisbane's, Geelong, Hawthorns, Richmonds, what have they had that other teams just haven't had?
I think if I could pick any team to be a dynasty team right now, it'd be Hawthorn. They probably definitely won't win it this year. But like you're talking about nucleus, they're young. They're such a young team with a couple of older guys that are sort of spearheading this sort of charge. Bruce and Gunston and these sort of Sicily, these sort of guys. But they are just so well connected. They're playing incredible football. You don't see 0-5, and then they might finish as high as 6th or something, which is just absolutely insane. And, Hawthorn's one of those teams where you look at and, they come from that dynasty and then they're shit only for a couple of years. And then you have Lee Montagna saying that the next time they play finals, Sam Mitchell won't be coaching them. And then they do this year after a shit start. They're exciting. They're young. And I think that's the core of a dynasty team. Well connected, young. They look like they're having fun. That's what it is. Like with the Pies, we poured a lot into last year. It's those close wins. It's those come from behind wins. A lot goes into winning a flag, and then a shorter preseason turnaround. And injuries don't help, but it is what it is. But yeah, we were being hunted, and two games go our way. Those 2 draws go our way, and we're back in the finals race. So this season has been closer than any that I can really remember for a long time. But yeah, Collingwood are on the older end of the spectrum, and Hawthorn, I think they're just perfectly placed for me to be the next. Maybe Giants is nah. I'll stick with
I would say that up until recently, Brisbane should have been in that boat, to be honest, by now. Yeah. Melbourne could have been. Probably should have been as well. So they've missed their chance in their finals run. I think, these teams, it's almost like they go up a level when there's when the finals start or when they're close. When it hits around 18, 19, 20, they go up that level. I think these teams that I'm looking at, Brisbane, Geelong, Hawthorn, Richmond, I'm thinking they weren't all Brisbane never finished minor premiers in any of those flag winning years, but they knew when it came to finals and playing on the big stage, they had the players for it. I think that's what separates them. Dusty with Richmond, look at that.
I think the answer is Carlton. And the reason why I say Carlton is to answer the first part of the question, what did all of those dynasty teams, the ones that had the sustained success, have in common? And I think the answer to that question is they each had a spine and a core group of players which made up the spine. They were all a very similar age. Carlton got very, I don't know if you call it lucky or whatever, to have Wiedering, Mackay, Curnow in one draft. And then, a couple of years later, you bring in Sam Walsh and these types. I think our spine has the nucleus to have sustained success. We've just got to get other parts of the football department right. But I do believe that we have the potential to do something like, if we get our culture right and all the pieces, you've got to get lucky as well. I do believe we have that nucleus, especially in our spine, to have sustained success. I think it's a 3 to 5 year period where you're in contention to win 3 or ish flags. I think we're on the precipice of that. I know right now it looks awful and right now it doesn't look as great. We've got 17 or 18 on the injury list right now, and we've had a form dip, and Hawthorn look sexy right now. If I look at the Pies, I think sooner rather than later they're going to have to build around Nick Dacos. Like Pendlebury is kind of like it's kind of like disjointed. You've got like the best young player ever, and then the best senior player in the league, and they're kind of like crossing over. So I think you want to quickly build around Nick Dacos as soon as you possibly can. But yeah, I just think the Blues have got all the pieces, especially with a strong spine. So my answer is Carlton.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, no, your nucleus that you name is very much in that 26 to 29 bracket, which is pretty much, that's in that sweet spot. That's where you got to be there. You got to take this chance because, even I couldn't believe Akers nearly 29. I mean, Cripps is Cripps, so we'll see how, he's an absolute machine. He's nearly 30. Jack Martin, I can't believe Jack Martin's 30.
I wouldn't put him in our nucleus.
No, I'm just saying, I just didn't think he'd been around that long. But yeah, like
De Koning as well, who I forgot all about because he's injured.
Yeah. So you have, the key pillars, the tall boys in defense, in forward, and in the midfield or the ruck with De Koning. And De Koning's I think this will go down as the year where he stepped into his prime. It's only just begun. And I think he's going to start really helping us win games off his own boot. So yeah, I think we're in a good spot.
25.
25, yeah. So he's just about to enter that perfect spot. But unless we get healthy and unless we figure out what's going on with these injuries and whatever the case may be, it's not going to happen.
Well, who's your head of fitness? Is that guy? Who is that?
Yeah, he's just retired. They announced it.
Oh, yeah. This was us 2 years ago. We had all these injuries and someone just had to leave. We haven't had them since.
Really?
Haven't had them since.
Can you run me through that? What was the...
I'll try and find exactly when it happened, but I remember, I think is it Nick Walsh? I think that was his name.
And it happened to us as well with our fitness guy. It was the Irish guy, and we were getting hamstrings, cut, all these soft tissue shit. All the fucking time, all the time. Like 2018, we were like ravaged as well. And then we bring Jared Wade in, and we barely, all our injuries are pretty much impact injuries this season. There's a couple of soft tissues to the older guys, but more often than not, they've been just impact injuries. So yeah, it's crazy because then he brings his new sort of methods and his other guys that he's been doing other things with instead of someone that's been in the industry for whatever it is, 25, 30 years. And it's just like a breath of fresh air. But yeah, that exactly what happened to the Saints happened to us only like 5 years ago.
What we confirmed his resignation May 2nd last year. So,
you've had a pretty healthy list this year, haven't you? Like relatively speaking.
Yeah, like I'll just show. I'll go. Our injuries now is I didn't know Hammer's season, but okay. Like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 8 on the injury list. They're all season.
I wish.
But they're not like Caminiti's season, but that's most recently with his shoulder, so he's doing surgery. Brad Crouch probably won't play for us ever again. Max Hall hasn't debuted. Liam Henry's a big one, but it's only been the last month. Seb Ross, not in our best 22. Max King obviously is the biggest one, and James Van Ez not debuted, and Marcus Winhager season. That's it. And they're all, so it's shoulder, knee, calf, knee, ankle, 2 hamstrings. That's just out of the 7 or 8. So whereas a couple of years ago, it was hamstring. It was everything was just soft tissue. Everything. Yep. I'm like, if it's a shoulder and it's in a contest, I'm like, I'll take that. That's footy. But if it's just they're jogging and they just grab their leg and they're out for 10 weeks, like what's going on? So we haven't had those anymore.
So if we've had 2 big peaks now in this season. One was about 3 or 4 weeks into the season after opening round, and we had about 13 on the injury list. And then the other one is just now, where it's just snowballed, and we're talking like 17, 18, or I think 19 on the list as of tonight. We had 2 AFL listed players playing the VFL over the weekend, just to give you like an idea of who played and what was available. So if we even improve injuries by like 10% next year, it would make probably 1 or 2 games difference with the result. Because we lost Sada McGovern in 1 game to hammies early in the year. And then obviously, I mean, last week was one of the worst things I've seen when it comes to injuries. Like sometimes you're like, oh, we had 2 on the bench, or we never ended up getting 1 on the bench. Like we had none on the bench, and then we had Jordan Boyd playing full forward because he couldn't move. So
like Caminiti the weekend shoulder he's done, and Brad Hill was the one this weekend we subbed out. And I was like, shit, he'd be very handy against Carlton. And then they released the injury thing, and it's like he just needs to get through training. He'll be right. I'm like, 2 years ago that was 8 weeks, you know. Yeah. So it's just like, but that's what happens. Like. It comes and goes. We ended up getting former Essendon senior strength and conditioning coach Alex Sakajan as its new head of performance. Apparently, he was very highly regarded, and he worked at Melbourne when they won the flag, and he was pretty good there. So far, he seems to be doing a pretty good job. On your Alex.
Yeah. Very good.
Nice.
All right. My one is wait, Jake. What was yours?
Dynasty.
What was the team
I didn't pick one. Pick one. Look, I'd have to say, I still think Brisbane are capable. I still think they've got. And you look at they're going to get another Ashcraft. You know, their youth, their best players are still in that bracket. Obviously, Lachie Neale's on the end, but there's still a lot of talent there. So I think Brisbane and probably Hawthorn. I'd say even Bulldogs with their forward line. And if the Bont can keep playing at the standard he's at for the next 4 years or so, they could pinch 1 or 2 and see how they go.
The Dogs. Oh, my God, with these big boys.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Cheat codes, man. Insane.
Darcy
performance.
Jamara. Jamara went like full Tony Lockett, Wayne Carey form for 5 weeks, and then he sat back and he's like, Darcy, now it's your turn.
Yeah, you do it.
Jeez. Yeah. Wait until, imagine they all do it at
the same time.
It's going to, oh my God, 5 goals each, you know, like it's going to be hard to stop them, you know. You don't even need that good of a back line because you know when it goes forward, you're kicking goals.
You're going to score anyway.
You're going to score. Teams is going to be a shootout. Yeah. So they've done well there. They're going to lose Bailey Smith, which will hurt, but I mean, he hasn't played all year anyway. But they're in a good position, I think. Which makes me eat my words because I kind of called Bevo out and said he was done. So he's turned it around as well.
Well, everyone really did, didn't they?
Yeah, true.
It's how quick football changes, the landscape changes.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, so my topic is centered around what I believe to be the greatest innovation in the modern era, in maybe ever, in the AFL.
Goal review, right?
No. So
Crypto.
Today we got notified that the AFL is about to launch Score Assist, the smart ball technology. It's going to be introduced into the 2024 NAB AFLW season.
Cool. Okay.
So just to read through a bit of what it is. So developed in conjunction with the AFL, Sportable, Instantaneous and Sharon, Score Assist will work in a covert manner similar to how silent reviews occur in the AFL season, where if the ball crosses the line, hits the post, or is touched in flight, there will be Score Assist officials operating at each game who will receive a real-time alert indicating what has happened. Essentially, what's happened is they figured out a way to put a chip in the fucking ball.
Yeah.
And we're going to get more information and more data around where the ball is moving, how it's moving, what's happened to it. It's been a long time coming. And I think it's not a complete product yet. I think the fact that we're here tells me that in 3 to 5 years from today, we're going to have such a better indication of when we do score review, because we've found a way to finally put the chip in the ball without compromising the integrity of the ball. So I know that we like to say that the league is shit and the game is cooked and, you know, it's suffering, but I actually think this is one of the greatest innovations that we've seen in the sport. Like, to actually make, like, in theory, we've always said, like, oh, what if you could put a chip in the ball? It's really hard to do it. So the fact that we're here and then, you know, we're about to have it into the AFLW season, and then I think the idea would be eventually to bring it into the AFL season would be unreal.
Only if they don't bring those shitty graphics with it.
Well,
The goal and behind ones. Have you seen those? Please don't
yeah.
do that. It looks like a video game. We don't want that. Like
don't think
that
I've-
just
I don't
ruins
think
the
I've seen that.
telecast. You've not seen it?
No.
Basically, it'll just pretty much the ball just goes through the goals, and then a big green goal thing comes up. And if it's a behind, it'll do a red one because they've missed.
Oh, right.
It just, I don't know. It just kind of makes the game feel fake in a way. So I hope they don't do that. At least the rest is great. That please don't affect the telecast.
They've
That's my
been
only-
they've been trialing it throughout the VFL season, haven't they? And it's been going really well. The teams have said that they haven't seen any sort of difference between kicking that one and kicking a non-chipped one. I remember seeing, I think it was earlier in the year, they released that video, and it was funny because they developed a like a leg that just like kicks it like a catapult and just smashing it. So I remember watching that. Yeah, that might have been at the start of the year before the season started. It's going to be incredible. It reminds me of in the soccer when they've got that goal line technology and it comes up on the referee's watch if it goes past the goal or not, and he can see straight away. And like you see it all the time, like that the real famous Liverpool Manchester City game where John Stones saved that goal because it was in by on the line by a millimeter. That's probably what we're going to be potentially sort of, I don't know to that extent, but probably potentially what we're sort of seeing in the AFL.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think it's not going to add more reviews than what we already have. Yep. It's just going to add more information. So in terms of, was the ball touched? Did it hit a finger or a post? Like, we're going to have such clear data now around it because we've found a way to put a chip in the ball. I remember I was at this. So when I was working for this company in Israel, like 2018, we did a conference, a sports tech conference in various places in the world. And we came to Brisbane and we did one at the University of Queensland. And we basically ran this conference where we had, we opened it up for sports tech startups to come and pitch their ideas in front of various sporting clubs, brands, etc. I remember Greg Swan was there from the Brisbane Lions at the time. And I remember Sportable were there. And I remember this, I forget his name. He was an older gentleman. He came in with like a flat footy. He's like, oh yeah, we're going to put a chip in the ball. And I remember looking at it. It was like a flat old school footy. And I remember thinking, okay, like in theory, it sounds great, but like, how are you actually going to do it? So it's pretty cool to see that they actually figured out how to do it. Now, I still think we're going to need to be patient with it. Yep. I don't think it's going to be perfect from day one, but I do think it is important in the score review era to have a chip in the ball.
Yeah. Do you think that someone just mentioned it here, Escape FM says, hoping we can use wristband tech for boundary umpires. Do you think eventually, obviously it'll be years down the track, we see out of bounds or sort of sensors around the edge of the boundary where the ball bounces out and it can get straight to the watch or something like that? That would probably be the next step, I would think, the next evolution.
I think so. Well, you could definitely put them in the posts. Imagine ball goes through the post, and because the sensors are there and they're fixed, you can have like LED lights on the posts, and it goes like red or green if it's a goal or a behind.
AFL's licking their lips at this.
Or like fireworks. I mean, that would be a little bit too much.
Or maybe. How cool would it be, fucking, LED? If it, not even just a post. There's like, when they're, I don't know what the technology is, but it goes like really fast, and you can create like pictures. Yeah. You just imagine on the goalpost, there's all these lights, and it's creating pictures, and it says goal, and it shows
like
you
a hologram.
Hologram, yeah. It shows you where the ball went through.
Can like a bunch of drones come down from the top of the stadium and just say goal in the middle of the ground? That'd be sick.
Every time. That's insane.
We'll see. I think the biggest challenge is when you put something in the ball, are you messing with the integrity? So I had to watch the video, and I read through some bits of information, and that's been the biggest challenge. You're putting something in the ball naturally that's going to affect the fly of the ball, but with that kicking technology, and then they did blind tests on AFL players. They gave them a number of balls in their training session without them knowing that they had chips in them. The players didn't report any difference in what they were kicking. The challenge is going to be, can we keep the integrity of the ball at all times?
Yeah.
So
It's going to be.
That's great.
AFLW starts in 10 days, so
Yeah.
we'll see it, and it's straight away, right? Like first game.
yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
yeah, all season AFLW. Yeah,
Interesting. Can't wait for that. That's gonna be really, really good.
yeah, go. Be interesting if like a ball explodes.
Oh,
Like, what are they like? Is that? I want to know the mishaps already. You know, behind the scenes. Like, what's happened? What's happened? Release it at some point, people. A bit of behind the scenes would be very nice.
Imagine umpire goes to bounce the ball and it just goes
And it just
flat.
blows
doesn't
up.
bounce up.
Oh, it goes
you've seen
flat. I
those-
was thinking it'd blow up.
You've seen those pictures where it's like that guy's punching the ball and it just wraps around his hand.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. Like imagine that with the chip in it. Fuck, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
It'll give you really good data for even for fans. You probably see like fucking Patrick Cripps in that last quarter kicking that goal, kick the ball at, you know, what do they use to measure fucking pressure? Maybe pressure on the ball or something. Maybe it'll give you that data as well. What would that be?
The velocity?
Velocity. Yeah, velocity. Would it be velocity, or how like hard he kicked the ball and stuff, and how fast it traveled? You probably get all that shit as well. That'd be sick to see. Yeah, it's interesting.
We'll see. So yeah, I thought I'd just get your thoughts on it. I think it's a great step forward for the league and bit of positive news about the AFL. Who would have thought?
Does that mean in 2010 in the first grand final when the ball bounces in front of Milne, someone can like have a joystick and basically make it go into the goals, like almost like a controller? They could do that.
The conspiracy theories.
I know. Imagine the ball bounces and it just.
God.
There's going to be plenty of that. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. I don't know if we've asked this question on this show. What do you guys feel about the bounce?
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Just
Completely?
throw it up. Yeah. I think
I thought
maybe
maybe just to start each quarter.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Just start the quarter, but then everything else, just throw it up. Keep the game moving.
Fair.
And they don't bring it back every time. I swear there was one, even in our game, where it favoured Marshall massively, and he's won the tap pretty comfortably. And it's play on. It's like, okay, whatever. You know? So.
Yeah. Fair. That was my topic, boys.
Wow. Feels like a speedy show tonight. I don't know about you guys. It just feels like we're smashing through the topic. So do we open it up for the fans? Or
18 weeks of doing this where we're doing pretty well now.
Yeah. I just feel like we missed last week, so maybe we owe it to the fans to get some people on. I don't know.
I'm down. I think can we tip the round first?
Tip or just go through our lock of the week?
Well, a bit of both.
Of course. What are the games anyway? I don't know who's playing. I don't know who's playing who this weekend, to be honest.
I'm very much down for fan cams.
You've got it there. Great.
So let's just go through. Well, does anybody have a lock of the week?
Pies by 200 against Melbourne.
Well, I'm going to tip the pie. Okay, cool.
Do you want to put the link in the comments first, and then people can join while we discuss?
True.
Yeah.
Here's the link. Also, those of you who are coming on, let's be mindful of what you want to ask. Be very clear what you want to ask. So we'll give you some time while we do our tips.
Yeah.
Geelong Eagles, lads, at GMHBA. I think we're all going to tip Geelong.
Yeah. I can't believe some people were like, there's no guarantee Geelong's going to win that. It's like, of course they're going to win that.
$10, Jesus.
Jeez.
Yeah, well.
Richmond, Gold Coast at the MCG.
Nah.
Geez, that's actually one of the harder ones to tip because I don't trust the Suns away from home. And who played Richmond last week? Oh, Hawthorn. They killed them, didn't they?
Yeah. Nah, I think I'm going to go Suns.
Yeah, I'll go Suns, but I'm not fully convinced.
Not confident, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hawthorn North at Tassie.
Oh, mate, they are going to if Western Bulldogs demolished them last week, Hawthorn are going to have their way with them this week.
Yeah, Hawthorn are going to.
Is there anything in, Clarko, a little bit of masterclassery?
Nah.
North do like Tasmania, but I can't see Hawthorn losing this one.
No.
What are you thinking, Terry? You thinking Hawthorn, or are you thinking
I do think Hawthorn, but I do think it would be a closer match than everyone's going to expect. Yeah. I think Hawthorn's gas will run out, personally. I don't think they're winning the flag. I don't think they're making a prelim. I think they've had an incredible run, but I think it's just a nice sugar hit.
That's a long sugar hit though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's not like they're doing it for 4 weeks. They've done it for about.
But you could have probably said that about Carlton last year as well, from being 15 to a prelim.
Definitely. I look, fair play. If Hawthorn go off to make the prelim, fair play. I just don't think it'll happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Brisbane, Essendon at the Gabba.
I don't know why I want to say Essendon, because this is Heppel's last game. But it'll be Brisbane. I don't think there's no way.
Are they playing Heppel this week? Are they actually playing him?
I think that they said that. Oh, sorry, no, they're going to give him a send off. They said, but they're not. They probably won't play.
Oh, he got a send off last week, didn't he?
That was the home. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
I mean, it's at the Gabba, so there's not going to be that many Essendon fans there anyway. But Brisbane comfortably, I would have thought.
Yeah. Sydney, Adelaide. Sydney have absolutely no reason. They can lose this game if they want. It won't matter.
Yeah, but I think because of their form being so down, they can't afford to just take this easy. I think they'd want to hone their skills. Chad Warner will be back. They'll take this. Yeah, they'll win this probably by 5 goals maybe.
When does Papley come back? First week of finals? Probably? Because he's been out for a while now.
What was his thing? It was 6 weeks, wasn't it?
6 weeks, yeah. It'll be,
the finals bye and then maybe first qualifying final.
Yes,
Sydney. Sunday's a great day.
It's going to be sick.
Sunday's crazy. Yeah.
Now, so just we need to realize one of Hawthorn, the Doggies, Carlton, or Freo will miss finals.
Yeah.
So the Dogs take on the Giants in Ballarat.
Yeah.
I think the Doggies win this.
In all honesty, they stuffed it because they could have had Dogs, Giants at Marvel, Carlton Saints at the G, and then Freo Port where it is. They blew it.
What it says right now is that there's a 53% chance of rain.
In Ballarat?
In Ballarat on Sunday.
Ooh, who does that favour?
Probably the Giants, to be honest.
Yeah. Although the tools of the Dogs are insanely mobile, so I don't think it would really hurt them that much.
I would tip the Giant. I'm gonna tip the Giants.
You're gonna tip the Giants?
I'm gonna tip the Giants.
What are the comments saying? Giants, Dogs.
Wait, Luke, you said Dogs?
I said Dogs, but it could, literally, to me, it's a flip of a coin. So
it's all on Jake.
Damn, it's a hard one. I mean, my gut, I like the Giants. I'm going to go Giants.
Okay.
They're probably one of the teams I'll be keeping an eye on in the finals. I quite like the way they go about it.
And then a few weeks ago we did this, but different teams. Jake had to pick the winner. This time, obviously, Jake and I excluded. So, Luke, you have to pick the winner. Who wins, Carlton or St Kilda?
Oh, fuck.
Who's coming in this week?
Who do I think will win?
Who's coming in? Who's coming in this week, Terry?
Half a fucking team coming in, right? Surely.
No. I mean, the following guys are a test. So McGovern has apparently hurt his hammy, so another one. He's a test. Zach Williams also had hamstring awareness. He's a test. Charlie's a test. Sard's a test. I don't think many of these guys are going to come in, if I'm honest. Maybe Charlie and Sard might just risk it for the biscuit, but I don't think we're going to see 6 or 7 guys coming into the team.
I have to see the ins. My heart's saying St Kilda, but my head is saying Carlton. I need a coin.
Who's going to toss it?
This is fucked. All right, I'll just flip that. So, Carlton, St Kilda.
He's doing the road mic.
That's all I've got.
He didn't have a coin. He's pulled out the road mic. Classic influencer. What's that?
St Kilda. Saints. Left
Hey,
it to
it's not.
fate.
It's not over yet. Now this is the one.
This is the big
This is the one. Because look at the ladder. Still comfortably right there, Blues fans. It's all good.
one. Who's favorites? Oh, Dockers are favorites. Oh, just
I'm not.
I don't trust
Port.
Fremantle.
You don't trust Fremantle. Give me Carlton 2022 vibes, like big time.
They're a good side, but they shouldn't be 10th at the moment. We shouldn't be higher than them, that's for sure.
They're pretty good at home though, and they were very good against the Giants. I don't think they were at their best, but they could have won that game. So I don't necessarily think people are giving that enough credit. I'm just thinking of the fans at Optus. Like, they're going to be absolutely nuts. Like, it's just like there's.
Who did
I mean,
Port
yeah.
yeah.
I'm tipping Port.
I would have tipped I have tipped the Dockers. I think just because it's at home. Just because it's at home, that's the only reason.
No, I'm probably going Port just because I don't trust the Dockers with their current form.
Oh,
Pommy with his little remarks. Very cute.
Jake doing anything he can to get Carlton out of the 8.
What's
Like any
Freo's
big club,
what's
St Kilda
Freo's-
is a place we get pissed on the beach. It ain't known for football.
what's Freo's home for? Like, home record?
I think they've got a pretty strong home record.
Have Freo lost the last 3?
Yeah, man.
Jesus. I didn't realize that. I thought it was only a couple.
To be fair, they lost to. I mean, the Essendon loss. They're gonna kick
That was
themselves because that was
one.
1, 11 to Geelong and then 9 to the Giants. So,
Yeah, so it
within
hasn't-
2
they haven't
goals
been
in every
good.
game. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
and someone just said Port will won top 2, so that's a
Interesting.
must win for them as well.
So then you've got a qualifying final at the SCG, Sydney, Geelong. Who wins? I would tip
Swans.
Sydney.
Carlton versus the Lions at the Gabba elimination final.
Lions.
Brisbane. round one's not happening again, Terry.
Lions are good, man. Lions are good.
Hawthorn Doggies. That would be at the MCG. That's
That is. I would want to
upsets
go
me
to
the
that.
most.
To be honest.
This
I'd go
upsets
to
me the
that.
most because these two teams can cause so much damage in the finals and they're fucking playing each other. Well, if it ends
Yeah.
up like this first week.
Yeah.
So this is good for 6 other teams, really,
But-
this matchup.
But if Carlton beat us, then where do they finish? Do they finish 1 spot higher and they play the Dogs? How does that work if you change that result?
We
Yeah,
would
also it'd be
then go-
Hawks.
Oh,
Carlton.
you played Hawthorn. Yep.
Jeez,
That'll be
and then
big. That would be
the Dogs would play the Lions. That's almost better, like for the neutral, because the Dogs.
Well, so what do you want to do, boys? What was the tip? We're telling the
We'll go back.
people.
Yeah, go.
Keep it
Go to
Saints,
the
and then we'll flip
yeah.
it. Then we'll do it later again. Then we'll
Yeah,
flip it around.
yeah.
So Swans.
Lions, Hawks, Dogs, MCG,
Oh,
spring finals.
Hawks at
full
the G.
house.
Hawks at
yeah,
the G.
Hawks. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
go that.
I would tip the Dogs, but that doesn't matter.
Yep.
Port Giants.
Fuck, this
that
will
would be it.
sick.
Yeah, in Adelaide.
I think Port, to be honest. I hate tipping them, but
In
You
Adelaide.
How many
guys have
times-
definitely been on the money every time this year when you say they're pretenders, and
Mm.
each time you've said it, it's been when they're at home.
that's
Yeah,
true. That's true.
I'd go Giants just to keep that streak going.
All right.
Ho, ho,
Geelong
ho.
Lions in a
Are we
semi.
are we rating the Cats this year, guys? By the way, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think
It's
we've
Cream rises to the top. Experience matters in finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just not on the
Um,
weekend.
I think
I still think Brisbane. I think
it's just
their
the G.
speed.
The,
Can't win
the
at the
G
G.
for me. The G
Yeah.
for me.
I'll tip the Cats in this one.
Yeah, I think I'd
Really
take the
straight.
Cats.
Are we talking straight sets Lions? That's massive. That's a massive story.
Yeah.
Fagan under pressure there.
Mm.
Port Hawthorn at Adelaide Oval.
Is this where the dream ends, Terry? You said they wouldn't make a prelim. Is this where it ends?
Yeah, I think so. I think Port will be
Hmm.
staring down another straight sets exit. and I think they'll do
But
it.
it would be funny for Port to go out in straight sets as well.
Yeah, Hawks are banged up. They lost. They're going to lose Will Day.
Yes,
Newcomb
yep.
copped a knock. There's a few boys that just sore. That's what I'm noticing. They're banged up.
Newcomb, he's going to miss, is he?
No, he got a knock. I think he's going to play. Will Day's definitely out.
Yeah.
I'd probably go Port.
Yeah, that
I think
one's
that-
interesting.
That
Okay.
Hawks Doggies games, if
So-
it happens like that, would be.
Oh, then we
Bang.
get the top 4 playing in the prelim.
I was going to say,
Oh,
is
shit.
the top four really going to make it all the way through? There's always one that drops out.
Yeah, you
Isn't
guys
there?
want to? You guys, we're the
I'm just-
tipsters. We're
I'm
there's
just trying to think
equalisation
of
here.
recent. Well,
Well,
who made the
last year-
prelims? Carlton
Last year
weren't in
was
the
Carlton
top
and
4.
Giants were. in
Yeah, and they
prelim.
came from the clouds. So that was two of the 4 that were outside.
Oh,
I think
don't
one
tell
of-
me- It's not it's not a New South Wales grand final, is it?
It's
'Cause I've got-
absolutely.
That's what
Yeah.
everyone's thinking, actually.
I think that's what's going to for this tipping. I think that's what's going to happen.
Surely one of Hawthorn, Bulldogs, or Carlton make a prelim. Surely.
Oh,
To make
well,
it interesting.
this is
I'm
where
just saying-
you want Carlton in the prelim because we're the only
Well-
team that could beat one of these interstaters.
Nah.
Well, I think Hawthorn can. I think Hawthorn are capable.
You guys are so biased to the recency. It's amazing.
Recency, we're talking the last 15 weeks with Hawthorn. How is that recent?
15 weeks, please.
Yeah.
Oh, this would be.
What's the-
It's been such a good year. Really, it's going to end like this.
That'd be a good game, though. Well, what about the Geelong Sydney grand final 2 years ago?
That was shit.
That was shit house.
True.
And it was a good year. That was a good year as well.
Let me just
And we
take
got
a
the
look.
worst grand final.
What about if
Actually,
we go?
yeah, Hawthorn are
So go
13
Carlton
and
win. Yeah.
What if
Now
this
it's
happens?
13 and Hawthorn are 13 and 4 in the last 17. So yeah, the last 15 weeks. It stacks up. Just what I said.
What about this? Would Brisbane beat the Dogs in an elimination final at the Gabba?
Ye-
See, that's one that Brisbane fans would be worried about. I don't think
You
they'd
the
feel too
Dogs
comfortable.
have what it takes. Yeah, they do play that
I
far.
think they've got that firepower that not many teams have that could match Brisbane on that front.
Yeah.
In terms of the attacking power.
Yeah,
I'd go the
Um,
Doggies, to be honest.
I think I would
Yeah.
too. In a way,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those ones where I would tip the Dogs. I wouldn't be surprised if Brisbane won, but I'd probably tip the Dogs, yeah.
That is a brilliant way to sit on the fence there, Jake. Well done.
Absolutely, but I would tip the Dogs. But Brisbane might actually pull it off.
Hawthorn, Carlton, rematch, MCG. The boys get Harry Mackay, Charlie Kerner, Adam Sard, all the boys back for a redemption.
No ghost of
He's
round pass.
Nah, it's finals footy, mate. Different game, different ball game. Everything lifts. I'm obviously going to tip Carlton in this game.
I would
I'm going to
probably
tip Hawthorn
still,
in this game.
yeah, Hawthorn.
You both
Oh,
fucking make me sick. Fucking petulant.
I didn't want to do the fucking. I didn't want to be the tiebreaker. That's why I tried to get in quickly.
Absolute petulance. I think we had Port winning this one, or did we have the Giants winning this?
Port.
So what is that?
Okay, all right. So Hawthorn's going to beat the
Giants
Giants.
Hawks would be fucking huge. That'd be a
Oh my
good game.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Cats Dogs is pretty good too. At the G.
Would Hawthorn beat the Giants at? Would they play in Canberra?
Oh, also TDK would be back for the Hawthorn game, but too late now, I guess.
Would he actually?
Yeah.
I thought he was gone for the whole season.
Regular season, yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, in that case,
That changes it a
Hawthorn.
little bit now that you've got a big fucking ruckman back who's also a midfielder. Brody
yeah.
Grundy 2.0.
So you're
I'd
saying
probably change my tip, to be honest, to if TDK comes back.
There's that smile. There we go. He's happy. He's a happy boy now.
Oh dear.
And then Giants knock you guys out in this game.
Yeah, yeah. And then Giants. And then Dogs Giants for those two.
Dogs, Giants.
Yeah.
You reckon Dogs over... Did we say that last time? Dogs over Geelong?
That would be at
Oh,
the
no, that wasn't the
G's.
matchup last time. That wasn't the matchup last time.
Speed, baby. They're too quick for the Cats.
And the Giants to win this one?
Yeah. I'd go Giants as well.
Yeah, but that'd be a ripper, just like the.
That's a flip of the coin anyway. That game.
Yeah, yeah.
How did you guys go earlier this season against them?
We belted them in Melbourne, and then we were up by 39 points
Oh, yeah.
against them
yeah.
in
Yes.
Sydney, and it was the beginning of the bad part.
Oh, that's when
I actually
Hogan,
can't
isn't it?
explain it. I
Hogan
can't
went
explain
nuts.
it. We're up. Sorry.
Hogan, that's when he went berserk, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's when the whole team
Okay.
snapped out of it, and we changed places. They were out of form going into the game. We were in form going into the game. We're up by 39, and then after quarter time, everything just died.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. See, now that's a good prelim because at least they
You
play each
got an
other.
outsider, yeah, the doggies, the dreamers,
And then it'll be replay of when was the last time the Sydney Dogs?
16.
That again. Replay.
2016.
2016, yeah.
Who would win at the SCG?
I wouldn't. Fuck, that'd be good. I wouldn't say no to Giants just getting over Sydney in this game.
Giants and Dogs would be an awesome grand final, I reckon.
Oh, the bad.
But don't they have like that weird history from like the couple of semis and eliminations? and
Yeah,
stuff?
they played the prelim in
Yeah.
2016. And they were
Oh,
a
it was a
ripper game.
prelim. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that'd be good. I think any scenario who's pretty good, apart from maybe Port Giants wouldn't be great.
Fuck. Yeah, Port in a grand final just wouldn't be great. I'd go Giants, Doggies. Yeah.
I think I would tip Port in this one.
Okay.
Jake,
Yeah?
what would you do?
Ooh. Port. I'm just trying to. What was the result when they played each other this year already? Do we know? They played twice, did they, or once? Once. Port won by 50
Jesus.
in July. So
Oh, July,
not too
so that's
long
not
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Port. I hate them, but I think a little bit of I don't know. But that's a disgusting grand final, to be honest.
I would tip Port.
No disrespect, but that's not one I'm watching probably. Port to be so we're saying Port are the premiers. Is that what we're saying on Footy Abroad 18?
Mate, that's what we're saying. I mean, unless the baggers find a way to get us Sydney.
This is I reckon this is the second or third time he's done this. He can't he can't just leave it.
That's
Ridiculous.
good.
Disgusting behaviour.
It's just missing that Collingwood spark, isn't it, Luke?
Yeah,
It's just missing something, huh?
Boring without us, but we thought we'd give everyone else a chance this year. So just sit back, take my September music festival holidays, and come back next year, bigger and better.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, we've got 3 people waiting to come in, so we'll get you all in to ask your question. We'll start with Julia. I think Julia's actually written hers down, but Julia, hello. Hello.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, Julia.
How are you?
We're good. How are you?
Good.
What have you got? What's your question?
My question is, so Jake, you might know this, but how do you get in the rooms after a win? Because I've always been trying to. So
How do I get in the rooms?
yeah.
I kind of just find where Ross is and kind of just follow him and sneak down in there. No one spots me, which is good. I'm not too big, so that's good. No, it's just working with the club has been good, just to do some added content for some of their sponsors, which has been nice. So that got me in there, and it was the best one on the weekend to be in there after the Cats game. I've usually gone in there after beating North or beating Hawthorn when they were pretty poor, so they weren't the most excited in there. But on the weekend, it was full. Everyone was happy. They were singing the song loud, and it was the best feeling to be in there and experience that after a come from behind win like that. So that's how I do it. Just helping the club out as much as I can.
Can you try and get me in there?
The amount of people that DM me and they're like, "How can we get in there?" It's like it's. I don't think I can get anyone in there. That's the club's discretion. But yeah, I'm sure they'll be able to hook you up if you hit them up for sure.
Who wins on Sunday, Julia?
Yeah, who's going to win? Are we going to win, or is Terry's Blues going to win? Don't say Saints because he'll block you from the channel.
Julia emailed me after last week. Actually, she emailed me and asked me about the show and if it was going to be on. So appreciate that, Julia.
Sorry, Terry. Saints by probably. I'm going 30 right now.
30. I'll take 1 point, but 30 is pretty good.
See, Julia's got the attitude, winning mentality. You know, no, this I'll take 1 point. You know,
it's still a win, mate. It's still a win. What do you want from me?
See, Julia wants blood. Julia wants.
I do too. Don't
conviction.
worry.
Yeah, amazing.
And a win would be nice on top of that, but yeah.
Yeah, beat Carlton and make them out of the 8. And then
are you going to the game, Julia?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah, it should be a big crowd. It's going to be very loud in there. A lot of Carlton fans, very nervous. Their season hinges on it. So let's bring the noise, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Callum
good.
Tookie. Terry, don't think you get past him. Sorry.
Big Cal.
I don't think we'll get past him either. We're going to get around him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll have to just wait and see.
Yeah. We'll have to. I think we have to put a tag on always, don't we, Julia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Julia.
Thanks, Julia.
Thanks, Julia. See you later.
Bye.
What was I going to say? Oh. It'll come to me. Kev.
What's up, boys?
Hey, Kev.
Hey, you've got this. You've got something on your camera.
I don't know what it is. It might be dirty, and my phone's charging. So
Looks like
No,
a
it's like
Is it a post-it note?
Yeah, it's like a yellow thing.
it could be dirt. It could be just dirty. I haven't cleaned it properly yet.
What have you got for us, mate?
Have you guys played AFL 23 Pro Team lately?
No, haven't. Can't say I have. No. Is it good?
I refuse to play the game anymore.
So if you play ladder leaders, if you lose or you exit the game, you have to start again. So you have to buy another thing just to be able to purchase on it. So it's happened to me where I've lost.
Yeah.
Playing as Collingwood and then playing Collingwood higher, and then unfortunately I have to restart and start again. But I've been playing that coaches battles just to get better, and I've been grinding on that. So
gotta do that grind, mate. Gotta do that grind. Do you have a question about you want to talk about the Pies quickly, or?
So, do you think with the changes that's happening, Graham Wright leaving as well, do you think that Justin Lepich will leave, or do you think he'll stay?
Justin Lepich will stay. He'll go into a list management role. He'll have a bit more responsibility to oversee that. I think there'll be a bit of reshuffling, like I said in my video yesterday. But no, Lepich will stay. Wright's obviously gone. Change is as good as a holiday. We'll reshuffle a couple of things. We'll get some new guys in, hopefully, and we'll back it up again in 2025, Kev.
Hope so, mate. Hope so.
We got this, mate.
Kev, who wins, Carlton or St Kilda?
Oh, who do I really want to win?
No. I know who you want to win. I'm asking you who is going to win.
I think the Saints, because they're in great form, they've been playing really good footy. I think it'll be 28 points.
Okay.
But it will not surprise me Carl to win. I can see it going both ways.
Is that he's got the right post-it note there. It's like, say Saints win. Jake says to say. What about next year, Kev? Quick question. Are the Pies going to bounce back? Are they going to make the top 4 next year?
I hope we do.
Yeah.
I think if we get Petrarca and I believe Taylor Walker has been...
Nah, we're not going to get Walker. He can stay in Adelaide.
That that would be handy for our backup forwards. But yeah, if we get Petrarca and we have to get rid of like a Degari or Rafe McInnes or something, that could be a dangerous midfield.
It could be. It's not. I don't think it'll happen as much as we want it to. We're gonna probably have to make do with what we have at the moment, and yeah, we'll back it up. We'll back it up, Kev. Trust me, mate. We'll be right, brother.
I got Employee of the Month too for my work.
That's it. That's our boy.
Congrats, mate. Very nice job.
I'm talking about Kev.
And also, while my cat Tiggy, she passed away with kidney failure. So yeah, she's had it for 6 months and found out on Friday.
Sorry,
so
mate.
I love her
Sorry,
and I
mate.
miss her. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, buddy.
Thanks for coming on and spreading some love, Kev. Speak to you soon.
See you, mate.
See ya.
See you, mate.
See ya.
And Lucinda, what have you got for us in terms of a question?
Well, following in from those two, you guys will be fine because we'll probably have a prelim against St Kilda and face Collingwood in the grand final next year, so that'll be fine. So you won't be left out for long.
Ouch, the trash talk already, Lucinda. That hurts. Damn.
The question is, if we were to draw on Sunday, where does that leave Carlton?
You would
make finals, wouldn't you?
We would still definitely make
no,
it. Yeah. Because Freo have a draw as well.
Yes, yeah.
So right now, I
you would
believe
be
we are
54.
2 points.
Oh, no. You would still potentially miss if Fremantle win because their percentage is higher.
Okay. Well,
They're on 50. You're on 52. You'd go to 54 and they win. 54 and percentage would take them in.
there you go.
Yeah, hypothetically, yeah.
You thinking
Well,
a
that's
draw?
fair enough.
That's very specific, a draw.
Yeah.
Why not
Just
the win,
like,
Lucinda? Why not the win? Go all the way.
Well, I was going to let you down gently, Jake. I mean, like we've already had like safety in numbers with me and Terry. I mean, that was like always going to be rigged to Carlton, but I was being like realistic in terms of if it was a tight game and it was like a kick the difference and then like there's a kick after the siren and then, well, fuck, it's a draw. There's 2 points each, basically. So the next question would be more for Jake. Like, okay, so if, for example, we get Kerno, whatever, that's awesome and everything. And if we, keep the debutants and have some more, Saints have never played them before, would you rather more of the familiar faces, as in your boys facing us, or would you sort of like the challenge of the unpredictability and see what the Saints could do?
That's a really good question. I mentioned this on our pod. Yeah, that's a really good question. I had mentioned this on the podcast yesterday and actually said on the podcast, I'm glad that first game with all these injuries wasn't against us because we wouldn't really know what the strengths of these players are because some of them we've never seen on the big stage. So I'm glad that it happened against West Coast and no doubt Ross would have watched that game very closely so we can have some sort of understanding. Obviously, it kind of reminds me of us a little bit when we lose Max King. We've lost a few players. We've had to find goals in different avenues. We've averaged probably 5 or 6 goals more a game without Kingy because we have to look for other options, makes us more unpredictable. Same goes for Carlton last weekend. So, I mean, I think every Carlton fan would want some familiar faces, the Kernos and Mackay's of the world for sure. You wouldn't want to not, you obviously want your best players on the park. I think, to be honest, my approach is either way, it's fine. Like, I'm pretty comfortable playing both. I'd love to play Carlton full strength and ultimately test ourselves against a full strength Carlton because that's kind of how you grasp where you're really where we're at. We've played Geelong; they had no excuses really. Essendon full strength, so a Carlton full strength would be nice. Unfortunately, that's not the case, but doesn't mean you're going to be any easier to beat. It's going to be, like you said, even more unpredictable and difficult. So yeah, I probably would say I'd rather. I mean, I don't know. I'd rather both. Like, they've both got pros and cons. It's hard to pick.
Yeah.
All right, I'd take a full strength Carlton. I'll take full strength Carlton. I'll take that. That's my ultimate answer. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. But personally, for me, I would like within reason, go unchanged from round 23 with bringing in Charlie if it's safe for him to do so and there's no long-term finals risk because we are going for the win. And the good news is if we do beat the Saints, we will not let Port win the flag. So, there's compensation there. So
Yeah.
from like
I know.
the football thing with the chip thing, I don't know, like I don't think it would intimidate the players. I think it would shorten the score review process in theory, not just because it would tell you, what's happened when they've marked, but also like because most score reviews, like they take 2 minutes and they don't stop the clock some of the time. So if it's tight game, it's a bit of a pain in the, but just holding this with a chip in it, I'm like, okay, that's intimidating me and I'm not a footballer.
But the
You
chip,
know?
we've got to think that the chip is like, wouldn't even be like a gram. I don't think it'll be minuscule in weight, right, Terry? And Pom said
Yeah.
that there's
You won't even see
it. Yeah,
you won't even see it. So
Yeah, well, you wouldn't
Actually-
see it. So it'd basically be this with like an imaginary little friend inside it that
Pretty
just,
much.
gives you technology
Have a
like
bush
you're
off the top.
guardian. Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
So,
Hey, Lucinda, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you got your ticket yet for this week?
I've got my reserve seat, Terry.
Reserve seat. Which bay are you in this week?
Oh, shit. In the aisle, it says 43 on the membership, but we're closer to like the first 2 seats on the 42. So level 1.
Because I know that
Yeah.
with numbers, they're important with you. So, very good. I was in Bay 17 last 2 weeks ago. I thought that was a good omen, but it wasn't to be.
Oh,
But anyway.
I don't know. You want to talk?
Anyway.
I mean, like that's actually like I think it's
No, I
detrimental.
know. No, I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole, to be honest, because I thought I was getting sucked into it. But
No, you
hey,
can't beat me. You totally cannot beat me.
I know.
Cripps is 200. Seat
I know.
16, section 17, front
No,
bloody
I know.
row.
I
Then we
know.
did-
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
All good.
But,
Thanks,
it's gonna be
Lucinda.
interesting.
Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Thanks,
You guys.
Lucinda.
Yeah.
See you later.
No worries. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Locks.
Locks.
Yep.
Just going to back my boys in. I don't know
Nice.
how. Don't know why. But I
Nice.
just think I've got to go in on Sunday and I've got to back them in.
Margin.
Blues by a kick. I think it's going to be a belter of a game. I think it's going to be an absolute belter of a game. Yeah.
Nice.
I just don't know if the Saints have the Jamie Elliott killer, like Jamie Elliott's him.
Yeah.
What does that
I
mean?
know.
Like
Exactly.
in
You know, like-
2022 when Jamie Elliott kicked that last goal, that killer instinct, that last goal, Port Adelaide.
That's
Essendon,
assuming it's
Essendon.
tight by that point, though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
tight by that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a
That's-
cracking game. Yeah, I really do. I think that the Saints will they always play well against us. They're up for it. Jake might not want to admit it publicly, but I know that he really wants to beat Carlton more than.
Obviously, listen to the podcast, Blue Baggers.
Yeah.
I make it known there very, very clearly. Yeah.
Big bad tough Jakey
But-
boy.
Oh, it's the last game of the year. What do you want us to do? We got to go out fucking throwing fists, right? Sorry for my
Yeah.
French, but
Oof.
you got to go out with a bang.
Yeah.
Both teams will, and Carlton have no other option. They have no other option. There's no safety net. I mean, actually, there is Freo losing, but they don't want that. Terry doesn't want that. No one wants that. They want to get it done. It's not a. Is that Adrian in the comments there? The
That is, mate.
debrief podcast. Yeah, I mean,
Can't wait. Paddy
they
down.
worry about
Paddy
your D's.
down.
Worry about your D's, mate. They got some problems off the field. Get that sorted first.
Highs by 150, and we get Christian Petrarca in the trade period. Lock them both
Yeah.
in. Eddie.
Yeah.
Absolute,
A and B.
absolute dreamers.
Oh, Mateus, that's right. Phil Mateus is back. Good.
Yeah. What are the Saints changes? What's happening?
So Caminiti is done. Brad Hill will play. He was the other one I thought would be out, but it looks like he'll play. Mateus will come in because he's just been out with the flu for a week. So he'll be straight in. So Garcia was the sub, but everyone's wanting him to play a full game, and he was amazing when he came on. In 15 minutes, he did a lot, so I think he deserves a full game. Just depends on who we put as the sub at that point. So I would have thought if Seb Ross was ready to hang up the boots, make him the sub would be nice. Put Garcia and Filippo back into the starting lineup. But if he doesn't do that, then maybe Garcia stays the sub. That's probably my thinking.
I want to change my tip.
Which tip?
I had a young girl named Miller come onto the fan cams last night, and I asked her who's going to win, and she said Blues by 19, and I now agree with her. Blues by 19.
Cool. Be interesting.
Into my
Is there going to be
flask.
Are we doing a bet, like a on stream bet for Tuesday?
We could. I might not be here next Tuesday. I might be going on the jumper punch next Tuesday. I don't know if it's next Tuesday or the Tuesday after, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens. A bet. I don't know. Like,
I wish this was a. I don't know. It's a bit bittersweet. It'd be good to be in the battle for both teams to make it. That would be even crazier. But bet.
Pommy done.
Pommy's hosting next week.
All right.
Jake, is there?
I guess it depends on Sunday. Then neither of them will want to host, so we'll see.
No, he'll be here. He'll be here.
Yeah, probably not as loud.
You want to put some sort
I
of
don't know. Bet? I have no idea, to be honest.
How about loser shaves their head?
No chance. Nah.
He loves those locks, mate. He loves his locks.
No chance. That's way too.
You, mate.
I reckon if we had to make finals like you, and the team that doesn't make finals as the result loses their hair, then I totally agree. I don't think
shave your head. Shave your head.
Nah.
Jakey, shave your head.
No chance.
No.
Mate, this is like this is like the wild card round thing. I'm not getting peer pressured. I think that's dumb, and I'm not shaving my head. That ends there.
Jake, I was where you are, mate. I was full of it with my hair, and it was protective of it. And then I became a man. And I put the ego to the side, and I just shaved it.
Pommy said he's gonna wear the Saints Guernsey and sing the song.
If Carlton
and then you just got to wear a Blues one.
That is
Jake,
disgusting.
you got to sing the Carlton song next Tuesday. If the Saints
I think that's it.
Blues
I think that's the one.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
With
I don't
your
know the
sunnies
words, but I'll learn
on
it.
and your bomber jacket.
Good.
With the Saints jacket.
Absolutely, mate.
That's
Absolutely.
good. That's good.
Is that a fair and reasonable deal?
And if we win,
Oh, mate.
then you need to turn up. You ditch the other podcast.
I'll belt out the Saints song. If
That's a good boy. Yes.
belt it out. Knock!
That's it.
I'll belt it out, mate. I will belt it out.
And for the entire show, we will have a little screen with the final ladder in the bottom corner for the entire show.
Jakey, shave your head. Shave your
Not
head.
happening.
Jakey, shave your head.
Not happening. Move on. Who's our lock? You've got yours as Carlton.
Yeah, I'm just going to back my boys.
You back your boy. Oh, I mean, obviously you have to. Who's my
I
lock?
got highest by 150 is my lock against the D's. All out
Guys?
attack.
Yeah.
We're not going to have any defenders. It's just going to be all out attack, non-stop. Craig McRae's going to throw caution to the wind. Fast attacking football. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah. Melbourne's found a little bit of form, so that
It actually will be a good game though. Just in general, Friday night in front of 10,000 Melbourne supporters.
Well, it's gone down 15,000 since your last.
Yeah. I saw the debrief in the chat, so I put it down 15,000.
What's the weather for Friday night? Is it going to be wet weather footy or?
Mate, it doesn't matter what weather it is.
Matter?
Melbourne schools don't show up anyway to a home game.
That's true. My lock is Freo.
Freo. Interesting.
Yeah.
I hope I pronounced this right. Isla Bunton said it would be a good way to advertise Mosh though if you shaved your head, Jake.
and then actually just like put their logo there, like tattoo it.
Yeah. And I said, look what's doing. It's going in my hair.
Pommy says, lock of the week, Carlton 15 plus, and if I'm wrong, I'll host this show face painted in Saints colours and a Saints Guernsey, and I'll sing the song.
Jeez, Tom.
confident I could fall asleep.
That's crazy shit, mate. But amazing.
If I'm not on the show next week, I will film myself singing the Saints song. I promise. If I've got duties to fulfill.
Yeah, I'll pick you up. We'll go down to RSEA. You'll stand in the middle of RSEA Park, and I will film you singing the song.
Done. No problem. Done. I just need you to do one thing for me, though.
Oh, I'm not shaving my head.
Jakey, shave your head. Shave your head. Jakey, shave your head. I'm telling you, you will never go back. It's part of becoming a man. You got to shave your head.
Yeah, but by choice, not by Carlton beating my club. That's not happening.
You know what we should have made a bet on, Jake? Earlier, about 5 weeks ago, you said that when Collingwood lost like 3 or 4 in a row, you said that the Saints would finish on top of us. We should have made a bet then. You said, we're coming for you.
We should have. I mean, to be fair, if we win, we're 1 game off. It's not bad. And our percentage probably would be above you by the end of the game, depending on how we win. Yeah. That's right. Next year we'll do it. We'll finish above you next year. There's my certainty.
And if you don't, you shave your head.
We'll talk about it off air.
Jake drinks a beer if they lose. Like, what's going on with that fucking glass? Why are you drinking wine out of a potpourri container?
Nah, gave up the beer about 8 years ago, mate. It's disgusting. Have a bit of class.
Hey, Pommy's ready, mate. It's like war. It's real. He was like on one last night. He was just firing shots. It was great.
Oh, that's fine. That's how it should be, right? That's footy.
Oh, I'm just so glad I'm not involved. I can just relax. It's so fucking nice. Got the premiership last year. I can just chill out. Chill.
Actually, got something for you, Luke, while we're on the topic.
Yep.
Last week, getting your Instagram story. I think I replied to it, and you were sort of having a bit of a about opposition supporters, and everyone's so rattled that Collingwood won the premiership, and opposition supporters love that we lost. And then, like, you proceed for the next 2 to 3 days to just talk about opposition clubs losing in your content. Last week.
What content?
The cans. Pandora's box is open, ladies and gentlemen.
I just thought it was.
He's been called out
from you. That's all.
Was it a video?
Well, if you're going to pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about,
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, then you don't know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. The video, the story. I remember the story because you applied for it.
Yes.
I don't know what opposition.
What story was this?
He was a bit upset because people were reveling in Collingwood losing.
Carlton supporters were saying,
it was Carlton supporters. Oh,
yeah. Okay. They were saying,
you mean this weekend?
Sydney did what we couldn't do. Thank you, Sydney. We were just like a lot of that across, and I was like, we really rattled the entire AFL community with the premiership.
I find it interesting that Blues fans think like. When they won and then they kind of realised that Collingwood couldn't really make the 8, they thought they were the reason Collingwood didn't make finals. That's what I found cute because they've lost to them twice. If anything, they gave you a chance to make finals. I thought that was interesting.
You know what else I find interesting? I find interesting that Collingwood supporters will say, Carlton, you're living in the past, but it's okay to talk about, we had the flag last year.
We're still premiers, though, until the grand final.
Well, you're the reigning premiers until you're not. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to enjoy it until the next granny.
100%.
Yeah.
Hey, what does Swoop Luke, Saints TV, and Blue Abroad have in common?
Are you asking us or are you asking the fans?
Is that to the fans?
I'm asking you guys.
The love we have for each other.
Yeah. The mutual respect for each other and each other's clubs.
I would say all three of us need Carlton to make content.
I think that's very directed at Swoop. I think that is firm. That is 100% at Luke.
Oh, all right,
No.
Mr. Preseason. Oh, if the league started 30 years ago, Carlton would have the most.
That was 2 years. That was last preseason, dude. That was 2 preseasons ago. Talk about living in the past, hey, Luke? Jeez.
Jesus, mate.
This is a jam-packed show.
Oh God, you guys.
We knew this. We knew this show. This show was going to be like this. We knew.
it's only
It's
taken
no
18
surprise.
It's only taken 18
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah. Well, it built up to it, right? It's the grand finale.
Built up to a big game on Sunday. Enjoy,
Yep.
boys.
I love it. It's like
Yeah.
the two of you versus me. That's why you're
The
sitting on
shit that
top.
the shit that Pom talks. Jeez. Look at this shit.
He went up from 15 to 30.
Carlton, then I talk to my
You
wife.
talk more about Carlton than I talk to my wife. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard from Pom, and he's not a dumb person. Those brain cells have vanished tonight, it seems.
Oh, I fucking love it. I love it.
He just thinks I hate it, that's all.
I fucking jumper that fits you. Blues by 30. Come on, Blues. Oh,
It was 15 plus before, it's 30 plus now. It goes up by the minute.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I actually did say if we win, actually that's a good one. Nah, that's too much. I was going to say if we win, you're in my live review.
Mate, whatever you want, I'll come and sit in your car with you as well afterwards.
Sit in the car
I'll come
together.
and do a little soppy video in your car. I'll sit in the front seat and stroke your head
better-
as you're telling everyone.
You'll pull out a razor and shave their head while I'm doing the review, probably.
Yeah. If
That'd-
Carlton win, I'm going to. So you drive to do you drive to every game?
Yeah,
No,
pretty
no.
much. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And you park
Yeah,
at
usually.
Marvel, or do you park like somewhere else nearby?
Yeah, somewhere nearby. Yeah.
Oh, mate, Carlton win. I'm putting the fan cams on hold. I'm sprinting to your car.
Hey, if you knock on the window while I'm doing it, no, mate, that'd be gold. If you can track
That
it
would
down.
be brilliant.
Just
oh
look,
my
you'll
God.
have to like zoom in on the background and go, I know where that car park. I know that window
Oh,
there.
So good.
That-
Jake's in the front seat, biscuit ass, and I'm just tapping on the window.
That would be pretty
Sometimes
fun.
when- hey, if it's a-
Right in the back,
Hey,
pops up in the. You see him in the back.
yeah, just walks past. Yeah. Mate, if that's the way my year ends, I'll cop it. That's fine. That's good. That's gold.
I will say this. I'm really disappointed that all three of our teams are not in finals this year, considering where we were like 2 months ago. Like,
What a stew.
would have made the show, just to have a little bit.
And we nearly had it. Well, our Collingwood and Essendon and fucking Carlton nearly had it as well.
Yeah.
Top 4 at least 10 weeks ago.
Yeah.
All gone to shit. Next
Yeah,
year.
you'd think
Always
yeah.
next year.
Or next week. We'll see. We'll see.
All right, lads. Well, that's us
Whew.
for the evening. Ladies
I know.
and
We're
gents.
going to do a preview tomorrow too. Jeez.
Jake, I'll see you at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Yes.
Ladies and gents, those of you watching, stay tuned for the preview tomorrow. That'll be out on our channels, and we'll go from there. Good night, everyone. Oh, all right, Luke.
Good night,
Premier
guys.
and have it. Enjoy
Good night,
it.
guys.
Good night, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you later.